Now, speaking of duds, what about old Swampy Joe? Yeah, there he is. The weekend at Biden's tour continues, with the NATO summit helpfully coming to Washington, D.C. this year. Thank God for that, because that means there's none of those long plane flights for Joe that it takes 12 days to recover from. Lucky him. Anyway, let's have a little listen to what the president had to say in regard to NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg earlier. Listen carefully and maybe watch the lady doing the sign language to see if she has any clues about what he's saying.
Secretary, you've guided this alliance through one of the most consequential periods in its history. I realize your wife. I personally ask you to extend your service. Forgive me.
Sorry, what? Yeah, look, apparently he said that he was talking to his wife, but it sounded a little, well, different. Anywho, one of the big questions on everyone's mind is now that we know that the president has an 8 o'clock bedtime, what happens if something goes down after hours? Fox News White House correspondent Peter Doocy asked this very simple question of White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, and let's just say it didn't go over very well.
We know the president says that his health is fine, but it's just his brain, and that he's sharpest before.
He was joking, by the way. I just want to make sure that that's out there. And he was making a lighthearted joke as he was speaking off. He's speaking off the cuff, and he was making a joke. You know the president; he likes to joke a lot. Okay. He's the same guy who says, "I know I look 40," right? So he likes to make jokes. It is a joke.
Okay.
I think people laugh when he says it.
Well, he also said he's sharpest before 8 p.m. So say that the Pentagon at some point picks up an incoming nuke. It's 11 p.m. Who do you call? The First Lady?
He has a team that lets him know of any news that is pertinent and important to the American people. He has someone, or that is decided obviously with his National Security Council, on who gets to tell him that news.
Boom. Well, we got a little more out of junior White House flack John Kirby.
He gets calls in the middle of the night all the time. And you know, a couple of G7s ago, Brett, you might remember, there was a missile that fell in Poland. There was a concern that it could have been a Russian missile. That call came in to him in the middle of the night. He called together the G7 in a snap meeting by 8 o'clock that morning.
Oh, well, that's great. That's okay. He returned the call in the morning. What could go wrong?